Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I hope this finds you well. Rhino Fishing TV is a channel that's primarily focused on bass fishing and almost exclusively from a kayak. So if you like those sorts of things, I'd like to invite you to subscribe to the channel and please hit that notification bell so you know when I drop a new video, which I try to do pretty frequently during the warmer months. I just got a new kayak. It's the Bonafide SS127, and the Bonafide SS series comes with a doohickey called a dry pod, which fits down in the center of the kayak and latches into a hole that goes all the way through the hull into the water. And Bonafide has designed this to make it easy to modify to install your Fishfinder. And that's what I'm going to do today, and I'm going to take you through it step by step. This isn't an original idea. I got the idea from Kayak Thrashers, and I'll put a link to his channel down below. He did this exact same thing with his Bonafide dry pod. He just didn't make the how-to video, he just kind of showed you what he did after the fact. But it was very helpful for me, and I'm going to take his advice on just about everything that he did to his and do that to mine. But let's go. To start out, I'll just show you all the things that I think I'm going to need to do the mod. Alright, I believe this is everything I'm going to need. You're going to need a drill. There's all my wires and stuff that go to my battery and my transducer, and there's my little 12-volt battery. Got some drill bits and screwdriver bits. There's my Fishfinder head. Got a couple of ram balls there that I had laying around, so I'm going to use those. And this thing here is a Hobie through-hull wiring kit, and I bought that at Delaware Paddle Sports when I went there the other day to pick up my kayak. This is what Kayak Thrashers used on his modification, and it looked pretty neat and tidy, so I got that for mine too. They cost about 20 bucks. You can see this one costs $20.39. You could probably find them for a buck or two cheaper on Amazon. To install that, you're going to need a 1-inch drill bit of some sort. So I picked this one up at Lowe's yesterday. Screwdriver, pair of pliers, and of course the dry pod itself. And then there's the little transom bracket for my transducer. And miscellaneous hardware and screws. Also, I'm going to try to keep it all watertight by putting silicone on there. So that's it. Let me get my tripod set up and we'll start knocking this thing out. Alright, I think I'm all set up and ready to go. This is the little bracket that comes with the Lowrance Fishfinder unit to be able to mount it on a boat transom, but it's what I'm going to use for this. And this is the end of the dry pod that's most forward in the boat. So this is where the transducer is going to mount to the bottom. And I'm going to take a little Sharpie and mark a couple of places to drill my holes. Decided I'm going to drill all my holes first and then start worrying about final assembly. And on this transom, it's got a little groove kind of machined out of it right up here, and that's where your transducer cable is going to pass through. I've got a really small drill bit here. The screws that are going to hold that bracket on are actually these kinds of screws. It's pretty sharp, so I don't need a big hole, just something to get it started. Okay, and now I'm going to drill the hole that my ram ball is going to sit on, and that's what the video head is going to mount to on top. I'm basically using this ram ball assembly. These are pretty common to all you kayakers. You've seen these before. That's the T-bolt that goes on the inside of that, and so I just picked a drill bit that's just a little bit smaller than the diameter of that T-bolt. So I marked my position already with the Sharpie, so let's drill it. Wasn't the most graceful, but I got it done. Okay, now comes the part that's got me the most nervous, that will really ruin this thing if I screw it up. And that is, I've got to drill the 1-inch holes here for the Hobie plugs to go through. So there's my 1-inch hole drilly thingy. And I've already marked a couple of places on there where I want to start the hole. So here goes nothing. more torque. Alright, let's get the next one. Alright, so I've got all my holes drilled. That second one didn't drill out nearly as cleanly as that first one. So when I go to put the little plugs in there from the Hobie kit, they may not fit real cleanly. I might have to do a little cleanup there. We'll see. So the next thing I'm going to do is take this Hobie through-hole wiring kit, and it comes with a nice set of instructions. That's how I need to drill the 1-inch hole. But basically the concept is, this is the piece that's going to go through that 1-inch hole. It's got a gasket on it, a plug on one side that fits through there like that, and then you can see it's got a little hole right there. And the way it's designed, they give you a series of these soft rubber plugs that go in there, and you choose the one that matches the cable that you're trying to run through there. So for one of mine, I'm going to have to use a double, like this one right here. That's for the power cable. And for the other, for the transducer cable, I just need kind of a bigger one, but just a single, and so I'll probably use either that one or that one, but we'll see which one fits the best. So let me go ahead and start getting that all hooked up. So I think the best way to do this is to run the cables through there first. So let me start with the transducer. I've got to double that cable up because the transducer end has also got to come through there. All right, so from here, basically what you're going to need to do for the transducer cable is double it up, because it's got to come out twice, once for the end that goes to the graph and the other end for the transducer. It's going to go down to the bottom. I'm going to double it up and stick it through there, and then I'm going to have a whole bunch of cable that I'm going to have to snake around on the inside here. And after I get it all doubled up, run it through the ring that goes to the inside. Alright folks, you learn as you go. So I didn't end up using one of those little rubber seals that came with the Hobie through wire kit, because there wasn't one that was really big enough to double up this transducer cable and fit it through there. So I'm going without that, and after I get the install done, I'm just going to fill it up with silicone, I think, or something else, but I'm going to roll with it for now. Alright, so I'm feeding my transducer cable back in through the box now. Okay, I've got all that cable pulled back through there, and now I've got to arrange all this mess in the box. But I won't make you suffer through that. I'll bring the camera back on after I've got it done. Now on to the power cable, which is here. And fortunately I don't have to double that one back through, but it does have two cables, so that plug that I was trying to use before might work pretty well for this one. So let me get started on that. Alright, I finally got that end plug in. Now I got to put the little ring on there to tighten it down. Screw it down. See how that works. So in theory, the battery is going to go in the little well here. This is my power cable. And it'll just simply connect to the battery terminals. And then I've got my transducer cable and my power cable will go up to the head unit. Now let's go ahead and put on the T-bolt for the ram ball. I already drilled my hole. Alright, so I drilled that hole out a little bit more, just enough that I'm kind of screwing that thing in there by its threads. So it's going to be real tight in there. I'm going to go back later and put a little dab of silicone. In fact, I'll do that right now. Okay, there's that. Now I'll get my ram ball and the little washer thingy that goes with it. Put that up there. Screw it down. And I'm going to go ahead and do a little test fit here. I think most of the time I'm just going to have this thing kind of like leaning forward so that the lid bears most of the weight, so instead of just being on that little T-bolt like that. So I want to make sure I got enough slack in my cable to reach it. Okay, awesome. I think that works just fine. Now for the transducer. Get the transducer bracket, my little washers. Alright, the thing is on there pretty snug. Now let's bring my transducer up. Alright, that is pretty much it, y'all. That wasn't too difficult, and I say that pretty lightly because I'm not that handy, but I got it done and I don't feel like I ruined it or anything like that. got a few little tweaks I need to do to it, tighten a few things down, and maybe go back over it with some silicone to make sure it keeps all the water out. But I think that's going to work just fine. Got to put my battery in there and do a little bit of housekeeping with all that crazy wire that's on the inside. But I'm pretty happy with that. It's going to be real nice just to be able to take this whole thing out, you know, in the event that I need to like stop and get gas or overnight in a hotel. I can keep it locked up and don't have to worry about somebody walking off with it. And I also have the extra one that I haven't drilled holes in, that for on those occasions when I don't want to take my electronics, I just want a place to keep something dry, I can use that one. So that's it. Hey, one last thing I wanted to show you. I went ahead and put the dry pod with the Fishfinder installed in the boat and latched it down. And I wanted to show you that the transducer, while it does stick out down a little bit below the hole that's molded in for the tripod, because of the pontoon hull design, it doesn't stick out past the pontoon level, so you can actually sit the boat flat on the ground and it's not sitting on the transducer. Pretty nice design. Good job, Bonafide. But that is it. Thanks for watching this, and hopefully your installation will go a little bit smoother than mine. It seems like whenever I do one of these things, there's always something that happens that makes it a little bit challenging. But I believe this is going to work really well for me. Look forward to using it next time out on the water. We will see you next time.